I don't know if you've been following this Erika Kirk, wife of Charlie Kirk situation, but oh my God, the rabbit hole on this girl is deep. Sounded a little weird, but we're just going to go forward with this video. I'm going to react to it. If you don't know, Erika Kirk is the wife of Charlie Kirk, who was killed and, shot to death on a Utah college campus. And if you haven't seen the video, it's pretty easy to find. It's easy to, everybody knows about it. If you don't know about it, go look it up. But there's a lot of stuff that's really weird about his wife and also people connected to him that makes people think, and honestly, the more I look into it, for good reason, people should be a little bit suspicious and asking questions about Turning Point USA, about Erika Kirk, about Mikey McCoy, about the other people that are part of the Turning Point USA organization. Really weird stuff. So I've been going down this rabbit hole, and then this video popped up in my feed, so I figured I'd watch it, react to it. Let's get into it. Make sure you guys comment down below. Make sure your voice is heard. Let's go.
All right, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Even before the end,
I'm not gonna lie, guys. Guys, she's not gonna lie. All right. What kind of accent is that? I don't know what I just did. Not a good one.
Internet said that there was something off about Erika Kirk. I felt something off, and I remember it was because it was a day after my after Charlie Kirk passed away. After he was killed, and I saw a video of Erika Kirk talking to Turning Point USA, and she was saying that this will be like revenge, like we're gonna get revengeance, or we're not gonna stop, And I felt something in my heart, like right away, that something was off. And then the more, things started to come out, I think I even talked to one of my friends she's like this amazing Christian woman. She told me that she heard a speech of Erika Kirk after Charlie passed away, and immediately she turned off the computer, and something in her spirit didn't feel like it was okay. And I hate I don't want to say that Erika Kirk is involved because I don't know. I don't know, what actually happened. I'm not God.
You know where this is going. I don't want to say she's involved, but all right, let's see what else she has to say.
I also hate when people say, oh, just something feels off. But sometimes, it depends who you're speaking to. It depends if there's a person that they always feel like something's off, then it's kind of their credibility goes away. But if it's a person that normally has pretty good discernment, you've seen it in their...
She's like, normally my friend is like, everything's on. Everything is so on right now. Nothing is off, ever.
Character as time has passed by, you start to understand and you start to trust. And this is a woman who goes to church with Erika Kirk, and she speaks out on what she's been seeing. So it shocked me. Literally, it shocked me.
Literally, guys, she was literally shocked. I love when people say, I was literally shocked. I was literally electrocuted to death.
When I saw this video.
Erika Kirk. So a lady just came out who goes to church with Erika Kirk and said some things that I was not expecting somebody to say who actually goes to the same church.
I've seen Erika Kirk in real life at church since Charlie died, and I will tell you that the performance in real life is as bad as it is on TV. I'm talking reserved front row pew, bringing her whole entourage, not her children, showing up late, tapping her eyes when she walks back from communion because it's the one time that the whole church can see her because she's in the front row. Before you jump down my throat and say, oh, it's security purposes. No, it's not, because this church has a side section that is closer to the exit that she comes in and out of, and where only probably about 5% of the church would actually be able to see her if that's where she was sitting. But no, front row seat, the whole circus. I'm not sure whose idea it was for her to go on this media tour. All it has done is confirm for those of us who were holding on with a smidgen bit of benefit of the doubt that this woman was genuine. Out the window. We cannot unsee what we've seen. The conservative leaders who are out there defending her have all capitalized on Charlie's death. They've all acted like he was their friend, and they have all turned his death, his public execution, which thousands of us saw, into their own moment to push their brand, to push their podcast, to push their social medias. And then those people who aren't famous, who are still defending Erika. What Erika did the other day on whatever freaking show she was on, to call it a sickness of the mind. That is exactly how control-based groups, cults, fundamentalist religions gaslight and undermine anyone who dares question the authority, dares question the narrative being shoved down our throats. It's to undermine our sanity, to undermine our minds, to undermine the state of our souls and our relationships with Jesus. Some of us identify it and recognize it as the tactic it is, and it's disgusting.
Okay, I'm not even going to pretend like it's not weird that I'm reacting to a girl who's reacting to another girl who reacted. There's too many reaction videos, and I'm part of the problem, but let's keep going anyway.
We need God because we need the truth.
We definitely...
Wow. Dang, you can see, that's what I'm saying. When this girl speaks, I sense the genuineness in her. She's not doing it for an action. And I know that because I've experienced cult behavior with certain leaders that I've met at churches where...
You know, this girl is saying something real. I grew up in I wouldn't say it was an evangelical church, but I grew up in a church that was it was as close to evangelical as you could get. It was a non-denominational church, but I mean, really, it was close to evangelical. And the loyalty that people develop towards the leaders in the church is cult-like. It really is. People will turn the other way. They will look away from things they don't want to see and allow those things to happen. And, you know, especially, I mean, if you're in one of those churches that talks about submission and authority and, you know, your pastor is your authority and all that stuff, I would really encourage you to get out of that environment because it's not good. Anytime you have people that are like trying to tell you that they deserve to be in authority over you, I don't care who it is, whether it's the government or police or church pastors or whoever. Listen, if you really believe we're all created equal, nobody needs to have authority over others unless you're a parent having authority over your kids. That's about it. And then once your kids are adults and able to take care of themselves, okay, your authority ends. This idea of like grown adults having authority over other grown adults it's kind of gross. A lot of people don't really spend time thinking about that. We kind of accept it because we're like, oh, well, we need a society in which people are going to listen and blah, blah, blah. I mean, we don't really need that, number one. And number two, when you really stop and think about it, grown adults having authority over other grown adults, it's kind of gross and, in my opinion, doesn't really lead to like good things a lot of the time. And it does lead to a lot of chaos and a lot of problems. Adults are adults. Like, let people make their own decisions. So what this girl is saying about this kind of thing going on in churches is totally real. It's legit. I grew up in a church. I was in a church super dedicated for 21, 22 years of my life. I can attest to what this girl's saying about that, and it is true.
Saying, like, if you don't do this, God's not going to use you. I've experienced that kind of cult-like behavior. If you don't submit to me or believe the narrative that I am telling you.
I never even got to that part in the video. She just said what I was saying. I never even got this far in the video. Like I said, I saw the first 60 seconds. So here we go.
Like, how dare you? How dare you question? And that's exactly what Candace Owens has been speaking on lately too, where it's like they've been saying how she's evil and conniving for even questioning, you know, what's been going on.
Yeah, questioning is bad. Whenever you whenever you start asking questions anywhere in life, if you start asking questions, I don't care what it's about, COVID, Israel, anything. It doesn't really matter. Erika Kirk, whatever, Donald Trump, Epstein, anything. Disclosure, aliens, manifestate. Like, I don't care what the topic is. When you start asking questions and people get really defensive or really angry with you, even people who you wouldn't think, like family members who don't go down these rabbit holes, who aren't really like taking a super big interest in this, when you start asking questions and people get angry that you're asking questions, or your friends get embarrassed to be around you, or other people start like feeling uncomfortable because you're asking a question, that usually means something's going on. And you are onto something, and do not allow other people to stop you from asking those questions.
So it's when I watch that video of Erika Kirk's speeches, I think it is interesting that she's also going on media tours. I'm like, you have kids to take care of who are probably mourning. How can you go on media tours if you're in so much pain?
Okay, I will give Erika Kirk the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, she's allowed to have a job. And if this is part of her job, then so be it. She's allowed to have a job. So that part I'm not going to count against her. But God, it does seem like she's kind of like living life to the fullest right now. And as someone who has been through grief, I mean, I guess it's different for everybody, but man, I really do sometimes think like, is she really upset? I do think that. I really do. And I know there's a bunch of videos online of people that are saying the same thing, and maybe that is kind of like influencing my opinion a bit. I'm sure it is. It does have influence over me, just like my video is going to have influence over you and your thoughts. But we all, like, you can still reach down deep and say, okay, I'm going to try to ignore everything that I see and hear. How do I really feel about this? If I ask myself that question, I still think like, ugh. And I will say, when all this first happened, when Charlie Kirk first got killed, I never followed the guy. I knew who he was, and I had watched maybe a couple YouTube videos of him on college campuses, like debating with kids or whatever. That was my extent of my knowledge of him. I didn't know what Turning Point USA was. I didn't know who Erika Kirk was. I knew nothing about his family. I really knew nothing about him. I knew he had a podcast that was really popular. I think I tried to listen to it once and really didn't, I don't know. I didn't connect with it or really give it another listen. I mean, I don't know. It just wasn't for me or whatever. When he got killed, I felt really horrible for Erika and his kids. So I don't have some like predetermined thing about her or anything. It's as time has gone on and like I keep seeing all these videos of her talking and doing these different things and people asking questions that I'm like, yeah, something seems pretty off here. Yeah, something seems off.
I remember I was watching the video with my dad, and my dad defends Erika Kirk completely. We have like different sides when it comes to that. But I told my dad, I'm like, Papi,
we're no longer speaking.
Like, if you had just died, I literally would not be able to give a speech for at least a good month. Like, I couldn't, because I love you. And this woman was able to do.
I love you 30 days worth. Okay, I'm going to play this video. I got to plug my computer in because it's about to die. But I'm going to play the video, keep watching, and I'll be right back.
it a day after. But I think the whole world can see that there's something off, something very, very off about this assassination and the way that all the conservatives have been acting. I think the only one that I think has some sense, but even you can see that there's a lot of emotion in her. That's why I'm like, okay, I can't completely trust Candace Owens either, because there's been so much emotion coming into her. But I don't see though that she has like a personal agenda. I really don't see that, because even without the Charlie Kirk situation, she already had a very successful podcast even without Charlie Kirk. I think she genuinely is angry. And I also think that she was actually Charlie's genuine friend in this whole movement. She even said in one of her podcasts where it's like, if you even have one friend in this political world, you're lucky, you know? And I think that was Charlie Kirk for her, where they were genuine friends. Like, they genuinely loved each other. And you can see it in her For You Charlie Kirk video. You can see, like, the hurt in her heart. You can see it. It's not rehearsed. So it says, I know Erika Kirk is going through a tough time, but why does it seem like she's acting? Reddit, take it for a grain of salt, just a bunch of people giving their opinions, but some of it I was like, I kind of agree with that. It says, I've seen almost the entirety of her speeches after Charlie Kirk's passing, and I don't expect her to act perfectly, as the loss she's endured is immense. But when watching through her speeches, like the one in her husband's studio and the one at the stadium, Charlie Kirk's memorial, it both seems like it's a mix of true emotions and acting and facial expressions and timing. For example, when she said during her speech at Charlie Kirk's memorial that she forgives him, as in the assassin, before saying it, she whispers "that young man" multiple times before stopping and saying that, as if trying to make an impact moment, and then immediately bursts into tears, etc. I want some thoughts of what others think, and maybe even some experts to analyze her facial expressions, tones, etc. It says, because she is the sort of person that would be lovingly married to the sort of person Charlie Kirk was. Dude, her acting is wooden. She's not natural at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did see something. This girl posted this thing on Instagram, and she's like, yeah, I'm an actor, trained actor, and I mean, I don't know if this girl's good or not, but she basically insinuated that Erika Kirk is not a good actor. Like, she's like, yeah, we can spot a bad actor, because what the bad actor does is they go, like, they overemphasize their emotions. And her criticism of Erika Kirk was, this girl is overemphasizing her emotions.
I literally came to Reddit looking for this exact conversation. I have been feeling bad about my thoughts of not trusting her presence and speech yesterday. I felt the same way. I was like, why don't I trust her? Like, I'm so terrible for not trusting her, but that I really believe that that's the Holy Spirit speaking to people, and
You're
kind
a
of
total bitch.
it's like that discernment that he gives people. But for me, her energy is as many here described, fake and creepy. I'm truly sorry for her, the family, the kids, and I think giving her grace is a good idea. Yeah, that's what I've been wanting to give her too, because I don't know, like how I said in the beginning of the video, I don't know her heart. Only God can judge her.
It's true, and I just messed up that video. Oh, no, we're back. We're all good. It's true, like, there is this part of me that's like, man, like, what if she's for real? And I'm just like not believing her? That makes me feel bad. But the fact that this many people, are like, what's going on? And all the other rabbit holes I've been going down, like, I'm going to show you another video at some point, but this dude, my God, they're like tracking her plane. They're talking about all this stuff of her going to like a military base, and like the day before his death, his assassination, and like, it's wild. Like, this almost seems like she could possibly be a government operative, like an asset, like a human honeypot of sorts. I mean, we have to admit, I mean, a little bit less after she had kids, which is pretty much every woman, but like, she's pretty attractive. Like, she's got these eyes that are like really piercing. And when she's smiling and happy, her eyes are, God, they're really beautiful. They're really beautiful. But when she looks angry, oh my God. Oh God. I'm not sure. That's the kind of girl where you're like, oh yeah, it's fun until you get married. And then once you're married, woo, I don't know if I want to be around this girl. God, as Theo Vaughn would say, God. Yikes, a little scary. She looks a little scary. All right, let's move through this video. Let me see if I can speed this baby up, because we gotta keep moving. Maybe I can show you the other thing I was thinking about with the military base.
But it is true. There's something, like, you have to also speak on it. You can't just, like, spend your whole... God also gave us opinions for a reason. He allowed us to have opinions. You have to also speak up about certain things that you're feeling. What a horrible loss. That said, there is much about Erika Kirk that sets off my spidey sense. Something is off. Exactly. Not sure if you're a spiritual person. I am. And right now the veil is thin. What was once hidden about all things is now becoming revealed. And then they were speaking about comparing her expression to Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife, that when Vanessa Bryant gave her speech...
Okay, hold on. I'm going to slow it down for this part.
At the memorial for Kobe Bryant, it was so much more genuine, and nobody questioned Vanessa Bryant. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the world doesn't question you unless you there's something off. Like, the world won't question you. Like, why is Erika Kirk was never in the spotlight until now? They were also noticing that she hadn't tweeted for 2 years until a few days before Charlie Kirk was killed. That she had never tweeted. Like, why out of nowhere is she in the spotlight so sudden? Why was she given the CEO position so sudden? You know, why is she going on media tours?
I will say the CEO thing was so weird to me. I was like, just because you're the wife, not that women can't do stuff, but like, you just entered into like a year-long process of grief, and they're like, we're just gonna turn over this entire company to you. Like, what? This whole organization, we're gonna put it in your hands, lady who is saddled with emotional weight that is almost unbearable, or in theory should be unbearable. I mean, think about that. Think about the emotional weight. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to give this to you now. I don't think so. All right. Let me see if I can find the other video that I'm talking about. Okay. I'm going to try to do it real quick. And if I have to edit, sorry, but you know, here we go. Like, Erika Kirk, military base. Let's see if this pulls it up. I watched a whole, yes. Okay, here we go. Let's watch this. Oh, Candace Owens did this. This is incredible. I saw this video and it's like, it's wild. It's Erika, I'm just going to do Erika Kirk, Candace Owens. Because Candace Owens is like, she's really killing it on this. I don't agree with Candace Owens, by the way, on several things, but like, I don't think she's messing this up so far.
And they told me who the general was and insisted that Mike and carry on. And didn't you just like fire half of your force that was not embarrassed to be alive? Meeting, we verified that Blake right before we went live because I realized I hadn't done it. And what? Well,
hold on. You know what? I'm gonna go to. I'm sorry, guys. Erika Kirk. I think Jimmy Dore was talking about this. I think I had seen a Jimmy Dore thing about this. Here we go. Maybe this.
that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody else.
Okay, so a little bit of backstory. This guy says he went to the same military base where he saw Erika Kirk and Cabot Phillips, Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend before Charlie Kirk, at this military base the day before Charlie Kirk was killed, right? This guy had gone back to a military base because he had lost his job or something, and he's like, I don't know. He's like pissed off about it. And he's trying to figure out like why he lost his job or whatever. So he goes to this base unknowingly, having Charlie Kirk hasn't been killed yet, right? It hasn't happened yet. This dude goes there to try to get some answers on a personal level about his own employment status, blah, blah, blah. And he goes to this base and he runs into this situation where there is a high buzz energy meeting happening. Like he can tell because he's been in military situations before. He knows like, okay, there's like something going on here. There's like a big deal. Something's happening. Today is big deal, right? And he sees Erika Kirk, Cabot Phillips, I think that's all I know of so far, at this military base the day before Charlie Kirk is murdered, assassinated, and then he's taken into custody for like 7 hours for really kind of no reason, and he's questioned.
So this is going to blow your mind. It blew my mind anyway. Maybe it won't blow your mind, but it blew mine. So I watched this episode of Candace Owens last night, and she brought this guy on. And this guy is Army veteran, and he tells Candace Owens that he is 99% certain that he saw Erika Kirk, Turning Point USA security chief Brian Harpel, and a Nevada congressman attending a high-level military meeting at a military base in Arizona. It's that Huacuca, the ones they keep talking about. He says the meeting took place just days before. No, he said it took place the day before. So I'm going to let you know. So Erika Kirk was seen with a mystery man at the Candlewood Suites Hotel at Fort Huaca on the evening of September 8th. All right, so that is 2 days. The next morning, the man accompanying Erika the night before,
very nice,
and Brian Harpel, head of Charlie Kirk security, and Congressman Mark Amodei were all seen leaving a secretive meeting held at the Army's intelligence base and premier UAV training center located in Fort Huaca, if that's how you say it, Arizona. So they were all there. So the next morning would be the 9th. So the day before Charlie was assassinated, they're all at this high-level security meeting at this military base, which is known for psychological ops and known for its unmanned drone program. This high-level secretive meeting occurred the day before Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU. Was this meeting a final pre-op planning meeting for the assassination? A detailed summary of real Ken interview in what just may be related. Okay, so this guy used to be special ops with the military. He got screwed over. It's a long story. He discovered a drug tunnel, and he also coming under Arizona, and he also uncovered that high-level people in the government.
I do want like a high performance military operation crew of like Mexicans only called Special Guaps. That'd be cool. I don't regret saying it. I mean, it would be cool, right? You don't think it'd be cool? Okay, well, you might be a racist. I'm just saying, I think it would be dope.
We're in on it. So they tried to discredit him for the and wrecked his life. So he went back to that military base where he's got his life wrecked to try to find some answers. So this is summarized by a guy named Mark Patterson. So this guy's name was Mitch. He was trained at Fort Hiawatha in Arizona, where he was charged with the crime he didn't commit. After being gagged for 35 years, they had a gag order on him for 30.
I thought that meant something else. I thought they put like a gag, like a gag ball in his mouth. He was gagged for 35 years. Okay, I don't know. It's just me. Clearly, it's just me.
35 years. He decided to return to Fort Hiawatha to see if he could get answers about why he was charged. That's his military ID there. You can see it. Here's his military ID right there. That's him. So Fort Hiawatha is home of the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence and the Network Enterprise Technology Command. As a major range test facility base, Fort Hiawatha is a hub for electromagnetic technology testing and training and is one of the most extensive unmanned aerial vehicle training facilities in the world. So Fort Hiawatha is the world's foremost center for UAVs and drones. So on the evening of September 8th, that guy Mitch checked himself into a hotel called the Candlewood Suites. This hotel is owned and operated by the U.S. Army. Many years previously, it used to be an Army barracks, but it's now been converted to a nice hotel, and there it is. So he's going to go stay there while he goes to investigate why he got screwed over in his military career. So when he's checking into the hotel, at the front desk, he sees a guy in his mid to late 30s who has the demeanor of an ex-Special Forces guy. Because Mitch is an ex-Special Forces guy, he picks up on this. Mitch says the man is waiting for something, perhaps waiting for someone to join him. Mitch checks into his room and then comes back out into the lobby to go to dinner. He sees the same man who was now joined by a woman who was well off and dressing down. The woman, very well kept. Her striking blue eyes stuck out in Mitch's mind because he had a bad experience with an ex-wife that had eyes just like that. Mitch even commented about this to his wife in a subsequent phone conversation.
I actually believe that part.
You know how Erika Kirk has
sense.
Those eyes that are hard to miss. He notices them. Before Mitch can go up and introduce himself to this man, he and the woman get in a shiny new big green OSA truck and drive off. GSA is General Services Administration, a GSA truck, which is General Services Administration, and functions as the government's quartermaster managing government assets. Mitch goes to eat at a Mexican sushi restaurant. The next morning, he wakes up, sees the sunrise, and reminisces about his past there at Fort Hiawatha. And then, Huachuca, that's how you say it? Huachuca. Mitch stops and talks with a police officer to get directions to the Fort Huachuca CID, that's the Command Investigation Division, so he can figure out what actually happened to him, why they screwed him over. The police officer's directions weren't clear, and it led Mitch off on a wild goose chase. He takes an 18-minute video of the surroundings there. This video was forwarded to Candace Owens. Mitch is unable to find the CID, so he decides to find a place to get some coffee. He sees signs saying JTF headquarters. He goes into a couple of buildings. No one is there, so he continues on and gets some coffee. While getting coffee, he runs into some 10th Mountain Division people. He was also a part of that 10th Mountain Division when he was in the
10th Mountain Division. They say that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 10th Mountain Division of the U.S. Army was stationed for a period of time behind Vail Mountain, Vail, Colorado. Kind of near Minturn, Colorado. I have been to Camp Hale. Camp Hale. It's now a wedding venue. I've been there multiple times. Camp Hale, home of the 10th Mountain Division, I believe. I don't know if that's useful or not, but figured I'd chime in.
They are there for the JTF, that stands for Joint Task Force meeting. He's asked where he could find a headquarters with someone he could talk to. So these guys from the 10th Mountain Division who are there for the JTF meeting, the Joint Task Force meeting, they give him a building name. Mitch goes back out to the front gate, asks the gate guard where that building was using the name given by the 10th Mountain Division people. The guard then gives him detailed directions on how to get around, wind around, and get to that building. When he gets to that building, it looked like a temporary setup for a new command. There was no gate guard, just barbed wire around the perimeter. Mitch drove into the parking lot and parked his car. He called his wife and tells her that he will call her in a few. As things unfolded, he would be unable to contact his wife again for 7 hours because he would be held and interrogated. Mitch walked into the building and said he could immediately tell there was a buzz of high-level meeting going on. Also, high-level military people. He could tell. He's been around the block 35 years. He can tell when there's a bunch of high-level people having some kind of meeting. There's a buzz happening. And he said that the vibe was different. He wasn't sure whether this was a new type of army he had not seen before. Mitch walks up to the front desk and tells them why he's there. Initially, he talks to a captain for about 5 minutes. The captain steps out to get someone else. While Mitch is waiting at the front desk, the man he saw at the hotel the night before that reminded him of being an ex-Special Forces guy, that guy walks out of the meeting. Well, it turns out this guy is, I'm pretty sure, Brian Harpel, the head of Charlie Security. He goes towards the front door and
wow.
This was the same man who was joined by...
So, possibly Cabot Phillips, Brian Harpel, and Erika Kirk? Okay. I mean, maybe. I don't know. If that's true, that is wild. That is wild.
By the sophisticated blue-eye woman before they drove off in the GSA truck. So this is Brian Harpel and Erika Kirk. They're at this meeting, at this headquarters secret meeting with all these big shots in the military. Next, 3 more people walk out as if a meeting had just ended. They were wearing civilian clothes. One man looked like a congressman wearing a flag lapel pin. And this later, Mitch would identify with 95 to 99% certainty that this was Congressman Mark Amoti from Nevada's 2nd District. Mark sits on the Homeland Security Subcommittee and the Army Caucus and the Joint Strike Fighter Caucus. So here's the guy. Congressman Amoti was accompanied by 2 other people trying to communicate with him. The tone was friendly but serious. Mitch would later identify that one of the people with Congressman Amoti was this guy, Brian Harpel, Charlie Kirk's chief of security. Remember, that's the guy we caught lying several times about the security that happened on that day. He lied about the drone coverage. He lied about that they walked it, that they all this stuff. They didn't do anything that they were supposed to, and he lied about it.
Lied
Congressman
big time.
Amoti, Brian Harpel, and the ex-Special Forces appearing guy Mitch had seen. So that's a different guy. So let me just back up. So this ex-Special Forces guy who was with the girl who looked like Erika was different than Brian Harpel. So just to let you know, okay, just correcting that. So Congressman Amoti, Brian Harpel, and the ex-Special Forces guy appearing that Mitch had seen the night before, and the 4th individual got into a GSA vehicle and left. Next, 2 captains come around the corner and briskly escorted Mitch out of the building to a park bench outside. Mitch politely told them his name, prior missions, his purpose for coming. One of the 2 captains was Captain Neff. His last name was Neff, not kidding. You know, Charlie's producer was called Blake Neff. This guy's name is Captain Neff, who Mitch described as a decent gentleman. Suddenly, a swarm of intelligence officers and police surrounded Mitch and stood between him and the front door to the building.
I don't know.
Another GSA vehicle went to the front of the building to pick up another group leaving the meeting, but the agents around him prevented Mitch from seeing who got in the vehicle. A Hispanic female agent with plain clothes and sunglasses was directing the officers who were questioning Mitch, the others who were questioning Mitch. Mitch guesses that she was Secret Service. Then they took him to another location, maybe the CID building. At this location, they recorded and interrogated Mitch for 7 hours. Multiple times they talked about 24 hours and how he needed not to return to the base for 24 hours. After 7 hours of interrogation, they decided there was no legitimate reason to hold him, so they let him go. Mitch drove to Tucson, spent the night there, and flew out the next day. His flight plans included a stop in Salt Lake City. While there, he heard the news of Charlie Kirk's assassination. At first, he didn't make the connection because he didn't know anything about TPUSA. However, as images and video surfaced, he recognized that one of the individuals walking out of that meeting with Congressman Amoti was Brian Harpel, the head of Charlie Security. Later, after seeing a photo of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, Mitch realized that the woman he had seen the evening of September 8th at the Candlewood Suites Hotel, who had accompanied the ex-Special Forces man, also seen coming out of that secretive meeting at Fort Oaxaca, was Erika Kirk. So isn't this weird? Well, here, I'll let him tell the story. Here's him telling the story.
But what I started seeing come across got more familiar once I saw a picture of somebody in a ponytail with those eyes. That was that person. They were there. And yeah, the head of security there.
I had to jerk off for 19 hours after that because she was so hot.
How would I know that? I just have a gift for recognizing people. And Yeah, maybe it's not him. Maybe he has doppelganger, but somebody with the same mannerisms.
I have a gift for spotting hot women.
Waxy look on his face, hand gestures, shoulder shrug, gait, approximate height, haircut. Definitely walk past me. And
if you had to put it at a percentage that you were looking at Brian Harpole, maybe he's got a brother in the military, who knows, right? Maybe he does have a doppelganger, he's got a twin brother, who knows? And I want to be clear, I can confirm on this podcast live every step of your story in terms of where you went, what time you were there, that there was this big meeting that happened. I confirmed the location with other people that are on Fort Huachuca.
I haven't had sex
everything with
in
metadata.
19 years.
I obviously can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw. If you had to put it at a percentage
given
that
the
you saw Brian
chance,
Harpole,
I'd remember that face.
95.
95%. Okay.
95 to 99. I mean, when I saw him, on the interview with his face and gestures,
I got hard.
Yeah, with that photo, it struck me in my gut.
More than just my gut.
Until there was, some other pictures I came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say it, there's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If you had to put it at a percentage.
So just to recap, because I think I misspoke at the top of this, the guy that he saw in the Candlewoods Hotel, which is a military hotel at Fort Huachuca, was not Brian Harpole, the head of his security. It was another guy who he said looked like special forces, but that guy was with Erika, and they got into a government SUV and drove away. And that's who he. And then he saw that same guy who was with Erika at that meeting, and Brian Harpole, the head of drug security, also at that high level meeting the next day. And then they interrogated him for 7 hours. So, and what's the likelihood that what percentage are you certain that it was Erika and Brian Harpole?
That you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk. What percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody else.
The rarest of eyes.
So there you go. So what in the hell
was rarest of eyes
doing with that special forces guy driving away in a government car? What the heck was Brian Harpole, the head, who we now know is a confirmed liar and lying about the assassination? What happened? What the heck were they all doing there? What in the heck were they? So this is super sus. Super sus. And I wish that Candace asked Erika on Monday, what were you doing there? But apparently she didn't have this information then. Hey, what were you doing at Camp Huachuca the day before Charlie was assassinated? What were you doing there? I would love to know.
This is a kid's summer camp. What were you doing there?
What were you doing? The head of Charlie's security. What were you doing there? Why were you there? Why were you meeting with all these high-level military types, the lieutenant colonel types, and a congressman? What were you doing? And why was Erika there? So I'd love to know the answers to those questions, and every reporter should be asking those questions. But of course, people like Piers Morgan will say, "Shame on you for asking questions," because he's not a real reporter. That's why. Okay, so that's also whoa. And from day one, I think Candace Owens for a long time has been saying this looks like a military operation. She's been saying that. And now we've got confirmation that those Egyptian planes following her are also going in and out of Israel. Uh-oh. And we got Ben Shapiro and everybody else who's on the Mockingbird media getting paid by AIPAC or PragerU or Israel is freaking out about this.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro was like very irritated about all of this stuff. He's so... I used to listen to Ben Shapiro for a while. I listened to his podcast for a couple of years and I enjoyed it like pretty thorough. Like overall, like I didn't believe everything he said. Like I was kind of like maybe 70% of the stuff I agreed with him on. But now I'm just like, dude, he's so pro-Israel in this way that doesn't even make sense to me. It's like he made sense in a lot of other areas, and now I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like he kind of just lost the plot for me. So I don't know.
They would not be freaking out. They would not be freaking out. They wouldn't be freaking out about Candace Owens asking.
I don't know what he has to do with it, but he does seem freaked out and very motivated to shut Candace Owens down.
You're going to find out they've been lying about everything. They've been lying about how deadly the virus is. They've been lying about that they invented the virus. They've been lying about the vaccine. They've been lying about the lockdowns. They've been lying about masks. They've been lying about the infection fatality rate. They've been lying about herd immunity, natural immunity. There wasn't a thing they didn't lie about COVID. That's why they said don't do your own research. And they got celebrities to repeat it. And even the top comedians in the country, comedians. Think about that. And this is the same thing. This is just like Seth Rich. Same thing. Don't ask questions. You're a bad person if you ask questions about who murdered Seth Rich. And here we are 10 years later, and the FBI still hasn't told us who murdered Seth Rich, but you're still a bad person if you ask questions about it. Isn't it?
All right. Okay. I think we saw what we needed to see. Thank you, Jimmy Dore. You're a good dude. I like your stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. I don't know. This Eric Kirk, that man, Erika Kirk, this stuff is crazy. Like, the more I learn, the more I'm like, okay. Okay. Here's my biggest hurdle with this whole thing. The whole idea is that Erika Kirk might be some sort of government operative or honeypot, like human honeypot or something. One hot, sticky batch of honey. Who trapped Charlie Kirk, married him for a period of time, and like had his kids and all this stuff. You know, it makes sense. Like, if you told a girl, like, hey, we need you to, like, marry this dude. You need to get in. You're very beautiful. We need you to, like, seduce this guy and marry him. And in 4 or 5 years, we're going to blow his brains out. Okay? You're going to have his kids. We're going to blow his brains out. But we're going to give you X amount of millions of dollars. Honestly, I feel like a lot of women would take on that role. I don't think it would be that hard to find a girl like that to take on that role. If you said, hey, we're going to give you, it could just be like 150 million. Because she probably has more than that. She probably has access to more than that. But I bet if you just went to her and said, we'll give you 150 million, marry this guy, within 5 years, we're going to blow his brains out. Yeah, you'll have his kids or whatever, but, you know, you got 150 million plus whatever you get from afterwards once we make you the CEO of some organization. I don't know. I feel like a lot of women would do that. I'm not saying she's doing that. I'm not saying she did it. Not saying she's doing it. But if you're a woman watching this, ask yourself, would I do that?